So all of the coverage of this guy who was arrested for the Palisades fire is basically centered on court documents, which include evidence from his phone showing that he had asked ChatGPT, if you started a fire because of your cigarette, is it your fault? The guy was agitated, according to witnesses who had ridden in his Uber. It would be probably not as weird if we didn't have a holdover fire 1 week later that burned down the Palisades, that there was a fire that this guy started and then it smoldered underground. I can't find a documented case of chaparral burning underground. I reached out to an expert on this native habitat. The species are designed to perpetuate themselves after a fire, but it's complicated, so I will let you guys know when I hear back from him. But holdover fires, all the examples I see are from the 2020s, and they're mostly from Canada, where the oil fields are. There might have been a fire burning underground. Southern California has a lot of oil deposits. In fact, the Chumash Indians use a compound of petroleum to seal their canoes and their homes, their large communal homes. We don't know for sure. It would still be a very difficult case to show that the fire in the wee hours of New Year's Day burned underground that whole time. After 24 fire trucks and 8 aircraft had worked to put this 8-acre blaze out. Now the LA Times is doing an investigation saying that the crews that responded to the fire on New Year's Day did not use thermal imaging to make sure the fire was out. They did go back to retrieve their hoses and to check to see the fire was out. That was on the 2nd. By the 3rd, the winds became very dangerous, and there were discussions about having fire engines ahead of time. But all available off-duty fire personnel were already working overtime. Before the first call came in about the Palisades fire at 10:30 a.m., fire department was already dispatching all available aircraft to the Sunset Fire in Hollywood, causing a delay by the fire department's own admission in its recently released post-action report of 70 pages. It doesn't mention an underground fire, nor does it mention the hidden Buddha clearing where they say the fire started, and where the ATF geolocated Jonathan Rinderknecht when the fire started in the wee hours of 2025. I think an important point to remember is that the vegetation in this area is on very uneven ground, very rugged, very rocky, and it's dense and thick. There's been a movement to save the chaparral because it's native and